I'm Sherry and this is Gardening in the North, and today I'm going to show you how I make vanilla extract using vodka, rum, and bourbon. Before we talk about what you're going to need in order to make your own vanilla extract, let's talk about why you would want to do this. First reason in my mind is the financial cost. If you were to go online right now and look up the cost of pure vanilla extract, you would see that it's ranging anywhere from about $33 to about $38. Now, I went on to the Costco website, the Canadian Costco website, and I looked up the price of pure vanilla extract, and for a bottle that is 473 milliliters, I can purchase that for $36. So keep that price point in mind, $36 to go to the store and actually purchase pure vanilla extract. Now, that is from a big box store, and the idea is when you buy stuff from Costco, you buy it in bigger quantities in order to get a better cost. But let's just use that as our starting point. So $36 for a bottle that is 473 milliliters. Now I'm gonna break it down for you how much it's gonna cost to make your own. So I have purchased vanilla beans. These vanilla beans were 25 beans for $50. So each bean is $2. And I am going to be placing 5 beans in each quart jar. So right off the bat, it's gonna cost me $10 to make a quart size jar of vanilla extract. Now, keeping in mind that this quart size jar is double the size of that bottle you would purchase at Costco. But let's just keep that in mind that this already is gonna cost me $10. I'm then going to add alcohol to it. And it really doesn't matter which type of alcohol you're adding to it. You're probably looking at about $35. So to make 1 quart size jar of vanilla extract, you're looking at roughly $45. So to make it yourself, $45 for double the quantity that you would have purchased from Costco for $36. Year 1 is going to cost you $45. Year 2 is only going to cost you $35 for the same amount that you made in the first year. And the reason for that is you're going to reuse those beans. You're going to pour in your desired alcohol and you're going to put it away, and the next year you're going to have vanilla extract that tastes just as amazing as the first year. Now, year 3, I would suggest that you just add in maybe 3 new beans to your bottles along with those original 5 that you had added. Those 5 original beans are going to stay in there as long as you're making vanilla extract and adding the beans to it. It's going to be amazing. The other reason that I want to make vanilla extract is so that I can age it and give it away as gifts next year, 2021 Christmas. Let's talk about what materials you're going to need in order to get started. I've already mentioned that I'm going to be making all of my vanilla extract today in my quart size jars. Now, you can use any kind of jar that you have. You don't have to go out and purchase anything. Whatever you have that has a lid, use it. The only reason that I'm using these jars is that I want to be able to place them in my pantry on the shelf, and I know that they fit. The other reason that I'm using these jars as opposed to something a little bit taller and thinner is that I am going to be cutting my beans in half so that they are going to be down here at the bottom. In the event that I end up using a little bit of the vanilla extract out of these bottles to fill up other bottles that I keep in my kitchen pantry, I don't want those beans to be above the alcohol line. I want them to always be submersed under that alcohol because I don't want to risk having my beans start to go bad and have mold or bacteria growing inside my vanilla extract. I want to make sure that they're always underneath that alcohol line. So those are the reasons that I'm using these. Now, I will be looking for some really cool little jars that I can fill up to give as Christmas presents throughout the year. And I know that there are some really cool beer bottles that you can use. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for something that isn't too tall, because again, you want to give it as a gift so that they can actually put it in their kitchen cupboard. And if it's too tall, then it's not going to fit and it's going to be more of a hindrance to them. Now, the other thing that you're going to need is, of course, your vanilla beans. And there are different kinds of vanilla beans. You can get Tahitian or Madagascar. There are grade A and grade B. I have purchased the Tahitian grade B, and these were $50 for 25. So it's not a cheap purchase, but it is an investment. I am going to be using these for the next couple of years. And you know, what I would suggest to you is that purchase what you can afford. I think that all of the beans are going to work fabulously. When you receive your beans in the mail, you want to make sure that they are airtight, that there isn't any air that got in and there isn't any mold on your beans. If there is, you certainly don't want to use them and you want to ship them back. These ones are great. So I am just going to open them both up because I want to put 5 beans in each jar, and I have 6 jars, so I do need to open up both packages. Now, the ones that I have left, I will put them in an airtight container and store them in a cool, dark place so that they don't get any mold or bacteria growing on them as well. Oh man, these smell really good. Okay. So in order to get them ready, I'm just going to count out how many I need. Okay, so I have 30 beans. What I'm going to do with all of them is I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to use a really sharp knife, and I'm going to start just half an inch, quarter of an inch from the tip of the bean, and I'm just going to slice it down the middle. Now, I'm not going to slice it all the way through. I'm only going to slice through one side of the bean, and then I'm going to throw them into the jar. So technically I'm putting in 5 full beans, but it'll be 10 pieces. So let's get started. The next thing you're going to need is the alcohol of your choice. Now, you can pick vodka, rum, bourbon, it doesn't matter. And the quality of that alcohol also doesn't matter. You can go out and purchase the cheapest that they have on there, bring it home, add the two together, place it away for a period of time, and magic, you have vanilla extract. So let's touch a little bit on the type of lid that you can use if you're using mason jars. Now, you can use these ball lids that just twist on. They're leak proof, and they're quite good. I use them a lot whenever I have a jar of canned goods that I take off that canning lid and I use this in the fridge. They're quite nice. Unfortunately, I only have about 3 of these, so I'm not going to use these today. I want to keep these for when I take something into the pantry and need a lid. Now, what I am going to use is a regular canning lid. And the reason that I really do want to use this type of lid is so that I can write on it. Because in 6, 8 months, 12 months from now, these jars are all going to look the same. The bean is actually going to change the color of the alcohol that you put into that jar. And at that point, you're not going to know which one is which. So I have labeled all of my lids so that when I place these onto my jar, I know that that particular vanilla extract was made from rum and it was made in December of 2020. Now that we have all of our alcohol into the jars with the vanilla beans, I wanted to quickly touch on where you're going to store your jars. You want to make sure that you're storing them in an area where you have access to them once, maybe twice a week for the first couple of months anyways. And the reason for that is you want to be able to grab the jar, flip it upside down, and put it back on the shelf wherever you have it. I'm going to be putting mine in the pantry. I go into the pantry probably numerous times, more than I can count per day. And so once or twice a week, I'll go in there and I'll just flip my jars upside down, make sure that those vanilla beans really are mixing with that alcohol and that that aging process is starting. Now, I am going to be leaving these for 12 months. The longer you leave your vanilla extract to age, the better it is. So I don't need any of this until next year for Christmas. So I'm gonna let it age for the whole 12 months and then bottle it up and give it as presents. Thanks for spending time with me.